live.
Live.
This
is Tim Byrne, almost live, and I am Tim Byrne, and this is my good friend Anthony Vinzi from ProMain Maintenance out of Ontario, Canada. And it is the first time we've been broadcasting. I'll take these sunglasses off because I look silly. Broadcasting on Facebook, right? Is that right, Alex? And YouTube? No. We are going to put this on YouTube, and we have Instagram going off in this corner over here, which is from some crappy little phone that's being duct taped to a tripod because we are full amateur hour here. The budget's really low because I only have 2 sponsors, right? I have Stadia Door and Glass, and we have Byrne On Demand Handyman. Yeah, nobody's actually paid me to be on air at all. So wave over here at Instagram. And if you guys in Instagram hate what's going on, flick over to Facebook, right? Because that's where it's really being broadcasted. And we're recording it so that we can later put it up on Instagram as a recorded copy, right? YouTube. Our regular LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page, and on the website, which is timburnalmostlive.com. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm great.
I really appreciate you doing this because this is a huge thing, and I just put you on the air.
Well, you have a goat. You have a goat part of your sidekick. Now you have a guinea pig. There we go.
Yeah, we have no idea how any of this technology works, and it's been a fiasco for the last 2 days. Alex Byrne has done her best to put everything together. My wife, she is watching, and I am wearing a T-shirt with a coffee stain. I don't think you can see my boobies, but I have a coffee stain. And then my wife told me to make sure I don't show the coffee stain on the air. And I do want to know if Anthony looks fat while we live stream. So anybody who is watching this, if Anthony looks a little chubby, let him know that he needs to work out.
It's the camera.
Are you going to snowboard this year?
I'm going to snowboard this year.
You promise? Or see, now it's all being recorded.
See, there we go. You got me.
I have nobody to snowboard with, and I begged Anthony for the last 4 years in a row to snowboard with me. Tim Byrne Almost Live is being brought to you by Stadia Door and Glass out of Toronto, Canada, and they work right across Canada along with Byrne On Demand Handyman. Yeah, right. The problem with our broadcast and what we're missing is Kevin.
Kevin the Goat.
Kevin the Goat. Here, I got a recording of Kevin the Goat. I don't know if anybody can hear that.
Yeah.
Can they hear that? Nah,
they won't be able to hear it.
No, they can't hear shit. Here, but the goat, they can hear the goat. Wait.
There we go.
It's a goat.
Have you bought Kevin?
We rented Kevin.
You've rented Kevin.
I rented a Kevin. My farm with my wife, Allie, and I isn't ready yet, so we've only rented a goat from Lionel's farm out of Markham.
What does a goat go for on a rental basis?
They're expensive, eh?
Yeah.
And if they die, I got to tell you, if they die, it's all over.
Well, it's all over because you're going to have a barbecue.
Gyros? Is that where you peel the meat off the stick? How do you pronounce it?
Gyros.
It's like when we went to Gracie's.
Gracie's, yeah.
Which is Grazie's.
It's Grazie.
Grazie?
Yeah,
I called it Gracie's?
You're telling me, meet me at Gracie's. It's the Italian place.
Oh, yeah, and you pour asphalt. You pour his asphalt.
Yeah. You lay asphalt, not pour asphalt.
Split the page. Okay, so Kevin the Goat. Let's talk about Kevin the Goat for a second. Kevin is my brother, and who I haven't spoken to in 12 years. And the reason why I made Kevin the Goat, and I haven't spoken to my brother in 12 years is because he's also one of my competitors. And yes, we all have family problems, and I have no problem talking about it. So I have Kevin, who runs Copo Glass Systems here in Toronto.
Yeah. I
have my brother Michael, who runs E1 or Explore One. We have Rob Wright, who is a brother-in-law / kind of, sort of. And he runs Byrne and Wright, or known as Bwink. And if you actually, right. So it's Bwink. BWINC, Inc. Byrne and Wright Incorporated, Bwink. Goes Bwink, bwink.com, bwink.ca.
Okay, we got it.
You have a lot of family doing asphalt. Everybody in your family does asphalt.
Yeah. There we go.
How many brother-in-laws and brothers do you have working in asphalt outside your company?
Well, we have brother-in-laws working in one company, but then we have cousins and relatives and compadres and friends and close friends of the family, pretty much throughout Ontario.
And of course, then there's me, and I run Stadia Door and Glass.
Yes.
Kind of. Mike Wickenden actually runs Stadia Door and Glass. I kind of just stand over top of him and yell at him a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, before you push that page away, I got to give our phone number, because Stadia, even though they won't cut their check for me to be on there and have Alex screw around for 3 days. So it's 905-739-3939. Stadia Door and Glass is 24-hour glass and door service. And you can call Bwink or E1 or Copo. Richard Francis, service excellent, old friend, 30 years. I would tell you that those 4 or 5 companies probably do 20-30% of the service work in Southern Ontario.
So you're competing against family
All the time.
There we go.
All the time. I try to stay away from it. I really do, because I don't want to get
But naturally you get stuck with it.
Oh, when I go visit my mother, the conversation's just about the brothers, right? And who's doing what and where and when and how.
I think there's a lot of work for everybody now.
There's tons.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Honestly,
nobody's starving.
No, nobody's starving. And as long as you do your job right and the customers you have relationships with, you get business, right? I mean, if you don't have relationships, you won't get business.
I think it's all relationship these days.
The whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole thing.
If they like you, they give you work.
Yeah. I think being competitive is a philosophy more than it's a point of document that says your price is the lowest. I think being competitive is about people trusting you to execute the job in the way it should be inside their budget, and they'll help you get to that budget where you need to be, rather than feeling like you're forced.
But you want to do the right job too.
All the time.
It's quality.
I told a customer the other day. I said they wanted to do something on site, and I refused to do it. It was petty mats for clients in the
vestibule areas. Yeah,
in the vestibule. For clients that have big grand entrances, a lot of times around the revolving doors or automatics, you put in these aluminum mats, and they were really 1980, 1990.
It's a catch easement just to catch all the sand, gravel.
Yeah, so there's usually a pit.
Yeah.
And then they put this aluminum grill on top. Okay, these things are $300 a square foot.
Yeah. We've had to clean them out.
Yeah, you pull them and you
pull them, vacuum, wash
there's
them
usually
out.
a drain too, right? And you have to
Not always.
Not all of them.
Not all.
Some of them are condensation pans, some of them are drains. Yeah. But I told the guy, I said, tile the thing.
Yeah.
So here's the drag. This particular gentleman, I believe it was 180 or 190 Simcoe Street in Toronto, and the mats are in the so all my competitors run quickly to 190 Simcoe Street, but the mats were in the $35,000 range.
Okay.
I said to Buddy, I
galvanized?
said aluminum with the fancy carpet, little strippies in them.
Yeah.
All gritty.
Yeah.
Right. And I said to him, in 5 years, they're going to look as shitty as they do right now.
Yeah.
So I said, divide your 30 grand, say 25 to 30 grand, divide that into 5 years. You're $6,000 per year amortized, and they're going to look exactly like they look right now. And I said, that just doesn't sound like a good cost investment to me.
Yeah. I think the problem is too, is they install them, they spend that money up front, and then they don't clean them. They let them sit for 5-10 years,
right.
And then
salt rot.
Salt rots in there, and then they're claiming that it was a faulty pedimat that was put in.
And the drag is too, once you get that salt rot, that white fudgy stuff that goes up around the interlock, the white salt residue. But when aluminum goes that way, okay, I got that. Oh, look at that. At TCA seminar this morning, they discussed a war on talent. I have no idea what rationale that has. Things. You want me to talk about that? All right, let me finish the petty mat story. So when that salt rot and all that stuff is there, it actually encroaches and starts climbing up the curtain wall, up all that perimeter framing. And the funny thing is that I tell clients, take that stuff out, dry pack it or pour concrete, and put tile down.
Yeah.
And usually flamed or some kind of flamed granite or some kind of non-slip tile, and heat the damn floor.
Yeah, because the problem is that salt residue starts to go into the grout of the tile,
God, right?
And just leaches up the walls. And before you know it, you got...
So get rid of the petty mats, get rid of the aluminum mats, drop in tile. At least you can manage it.
Especially the places out west when you're dealing with Calgary, Alberta, where they're putting like a sand gravel pickled mix on the road. Those things fill up fast.
Out west, they don't. In Calgary, they don't plow residential roads, eh?
But they don't use salt
at all.
No, maybe minimal, but because of the flash freezes.
Really,
a lot of the you go out to Calgary and Alberta, anywhere in Alberta. Windshield chips is a great business to be in. I'm telling you. Look at that.
It's a poo mug.
You got your poo mug.
Okay, so this is all a test, and we're screwing around today, and I appreciate that. And we're going to get into some heavy content over the next weeks. And we plan to do this live from site locations with our techs right on site, on top of swing stages and everywhere all over Toronto. And oh, really? Should I tell them that? Okay, so let me tell you why we do Tim Byrne Almost Live. And the number one reason, A, is because it's about time the construction industry got into the modernized world. We have a tendency of having these door-to-door salesmen and making brochures and sending paper. And the millennials that are all coming up, they want to do things at their time, not ours. So we thought going audio, originally with a podcast and now live broadcasting, would be a real opportunity to bring the personality of our businesses to you at your time and your speed. Funny enough, Anthony, luckily enough, way back last year said he'd come on the show. And I'll be honest, when I first started doing the show, nobody wanted to come on.
No.
It was awful. Like everybody was like, no way, no way.
But you're my best friend and I'm saying, okay, do I go? I'm going to lose all my clients. What's going on? Yeah.
That's what I was told.
And I've talked to a lot of people after the fact that have come on your show that they had that same feeling. But I had to do that leap of faith for you.
Yeah, it's funny. It scared a lot of people.
Yeah, that's why I was so dry in the beginning. I mean, still dry, but
paint chips, right? But now you know who he is, which makes it really super funny. But no, everybody was, especially in our genre of age, over 40.
Yeah,
I'm over 50, but
I think it's that whole comfort zone that we get into that we're afraid to jump out of that bubble.
Nobody. I was amazed at the apprehension. So the reason why we did this so we could bring to property managers and construction people all over North America was to bring up tender issues, pricing techniques, selling. Oh, don't bump the camera. It's going to go bad. Okay, pricing techniques, business models, marketing techniques, and to help profile other people's businesses. So it wasn't just to profile Stadia, which ironically, I haven't even talked about Stadia this last year other than saying they're a great door and glass company, but it was actually to help people profile their companies. And so I went out to the market and I went to guys like you and said, come on, let people hear who you are. Because it's so hard for you to get inside of a company and meet the right person that makes the right decision. And at least on a podcast, they at their convenience can choose to listen to you and get a feeling for who you are and your personality and what you do and how you do it and how proud you are to do it. I think a lot of successful businesses, and the reason you're a success is because you're super, super proud of what you do. And you bring that pride to the job site.
Exactly. Treat it like it's my own.
Totally. And but I think that in today's market, when procurement guys say you can't take them out to lunch, you can't meet them, you can't take them to a hockey game, you can't take them golfing, you cannot show your personality. We need to do a unit price.
Yeah.
Whoever's 90 cents a square foot gets the job. Dave Angelis, who was on the show from Ivy North, said outright, every time he put a guy on the job site that was the cheapest price, he ran into a problem rather than being the right price, which this show allows you to not only show people that you can be the right price, but it actually shows that you care. And you take that pride to the job site, which ironically, when I brought to all these vendors' attentions, all these sub-trades attention, they were like, no, I don't want to be on your show.
Yeah, they're comfortable doing their shtick to their clients, but not showing who they truly are. And maybe who they truly are will give them more business.
I think that when you you like to do work with people that are like-minded.
Exactly. You want to work with people you like.
So my wife would not let anybody in our house that she didn't like. I could find the cheapest drywaller to come in, a cheapest tile guy to come in my house. And if he walks through the door and she doesn't like him, it's over.
Doesn't take his shoes off and just walks through in his boots. It's done. Talks
on his phone the whole day, treats her poorly. Can I tell you back?
Or asks you instead of asking her.
Right. Yeah. And then she's shut off. And so if you take that same methodology at your house, whether it's Carm or Allie, and they go, I don't want that guy in my house. I'll be honest.
My kids are a good gauge. I got teenage kids. Dad, that guy looks sketchy. Keep him out of here.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it makes a difference, right? And I think that our customers, property managers and asset managers or not, I think you want to work with people you like and people that represent you well and are like-minded like you. The contractors, when you're working for a Quad Reel or a Bentall or an Avison Young or one of those big guys, they want to have trades on site that they feel really comfortable with and they feel like it blends with their brand.
Yeah.
So that these people aren't just an outsider.
But you want to have the relationship too, that if there is an issue, they can lean on you and they know that when you say, I'll get it done, you'll get it done. There's a lot of people that'll say, yeah, we'll try to get it done or maybe next week or, what are you laughing at?
Me drinking out of my poo cup.
There we go.
I bought this just for the podcast.
Did you put toilet water in there?
Urine water, right? Just hold it.
Just filled it up at the urinal.
I think that if you don't love, and I don't know who heard this, but if you don't love going to work on Monday as much as you love going home on a Friday, employers, whether you like it or not, no matter what HR tells you, employers can't make you happy. You make yourself happy. And you have to find out what that is for you, and you have to go find it and do it. And I've looked at staff, people that I love, and if they're unhappy,
I find happiness.
Go find it. Go find that other job that makes you happy. Why? Because happy people at work will perform better.
More productive.
And somebody who's unhappy won't. And the funny thing is, unhappy people have a tendency of blaming everybody around them for their unhappiness rather than looking into their own soul, right? At the end of the day, you are personally responsible for your happiness. Nobody else is responsible. Not your customer, not your wife, not your kids, not your car, not the weather. It's you.
And it's also having that chemistry in the office too. People that all bring that positive energy.
But on an individual basis, if you don't fit in with that chemistry, then that's your problem, not the company's. And you need to go out and go find a place that you fit in with. Have you ever been to Facebook's office or Google's office down here in Toronto?
I've seen it.
Yeah, they're crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's a crazy.
But it's culture. Again, it's culture.
Totally culture.
And it's culture. And they've created that whole separate secondary family.
Always.
And then now everybody cares because they want to keep that culture. They want to keep that feeling, that positive energy.
While you're sitting there doing that, do me a favor and flick those things around so we can keep this thing moving. Oh, look. Boom, 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 boom. You can't make noise. You're making a lot of noise. Keep going. That's good. That's really good. Keep going.
The other thing that they talked about at the TCA seminar
Keep going.
was
Keep going. Let's just keep going here and rolling with this because right now everybody's just dying of boredom and you're not moving quick enough. La, 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 la. You can stop there. Yeah, you can stop there. You know what? We're gonna keep this one short while we try to figure this all out, right? So my let's go back and I want to, before I boast about Stadia and Byrne so I can get some people to pay my bills. My real goal is to get people to come on the air with us, with me and Paint Chips, or just me, or just Paint Chips. You can actually do interviews, Paint Chips.
We'll keep it PG.
PG, right? You keep it PG. I'm not a PG guy.
Yeah.
But to bring other companies on this format so that you can brag and show off and talk about your business. We've had 1-800-GOT-JUNK on here.
Great.
What was the hotel we had on here? We had Comfort Suites.
Yes.
We had Comfort Suites on here. Coming up is Steve Eichelson from Avison Young.
Yeah.
He's recorded, done. We're ready to go. We're going to be down at PM Expo and Canstruck Canada, and those dates are November 28th, 29th, and 30th. And if somebody's listening or watching, we're working on Doug Ford to be down at the show with us, which is really crazy exciting. I reached out to Doug Ford and his press secretary. They said they'd take an interest in coming on Tim Byrne Almost Live, which is super exciting. And
he wants to meet Kevin the Goat, doesn't he?
He does. He wants to meet Kevin the Goat and have a gyro.
No. Instead of
yeah. But I think if you use this platform and you talk about your business, and you said it to me outright, you've now shown up in a ton of searches.
Yep.
More than you ever have before in your career since you started doing the podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
The whole Instagram, not Instagram, but LinkedIn. A lot of searches on LinkedIn now.
You know what I had come on LinkedIn since you came on?
What's that?
Pavers asking to join my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
No, but I've never been that. So most of my LinkedIn page is
Glass and Door.
No,
Handyman?
it's property managers.
And real estate.
It's real estate and property managers.
Yeah.
I have a lot of property managers. If you go on my LinkedIn, which is wide open, sorry for all the property managers that are going to be tortured, but out of the 2,000 people that are on there, or 1,800, whatever there is, probably 1,200 of them are property managers, operations managers, facility managers, and general contractors. But recently, in the last 6 months, pavers have been all over me like a fat kid on a Smartie. I'm not sure why. I assume it's because of you.
It's possible. Yeah.
Cross-searching, right?
Yep.
And just by saying that, I mean, if you look at how your business has been now searched more and without paying, and by the way, being on Tim Byrne Almost Live is free, which is a huge deal. It's not costing you a dime. We pay for all the editing costs. We pay for all the production costs. As you can see, they're extremely low. But I think that if you called me at 416-984-9045, we'll work it out and you can get on air with me. You can pick the type of questions, where you want the conversation to go. I know that you listened to some of my old recordings, And if you haven't, you're going to go listen to them. You're right. I'm a little vulgar. I've said the 7 words you can't say on TV. But it doesn't discount who and what you are and what you bring to the table for your client base. And this gives you a real great conduit to your clients.
Definitely. I mean, I was at one of our conferences recently, and client or potential client that I've never met listens to your podcast. I won't mention names, listens to your podcast. And it's like she knew me already because she listens to the podcast. So, I mean, it gives you that kind of break the ice because it gives something to talk about with your client as well.
Yeah, you need, and it's funny too with clients. You need that point of contact. You need you need some reason to have a connection, right?
Yes.
Because if you don't have a connection with them, it's hard to carry on a conversation. Being in sales is like constantly making new best friends every day.
Yeah.
So if you don't have something to talk about, so when you go to a party, you're all brought there mutually by somebody.
Yes.
So you have a point of contact. You have a point of reason to talk about. The great thing about the podcast is you have a point of reason to have a conversation about something.
Which is outside of business. So you're not trying to sell them. You're just talking about something other than work.
Because nobody wants to be sold.
No.
Nobody wants to be sold, right?
It doesn't.
You know, it's at the bar talk. You know, this is the way my industry is. But here's some of the Cole's notes on how to do it.
The property managers that come on, funny enough, I find it kind of funny as I sip out of my poo mug. I find it kind of funny that the vendor side of our industry doesn't actually understand how our client side, the property management, the facility management side operate. So when you get a Steve Eichelson on here or an Ivy North contractor on here and they go, this is how the tender process really works. This is what happens behind closed doors in a boardroom after you submit your bid. I think it's really fascinating. I think even our own sales staff here at Stadia and Byrne on Demand, there's a real disconnect with after the bid's being submitted or even before the bid's submitted, what goes on to vet you, to even get you on a list to bid.
But it's the unknown. It's your insecurities. Like maybe my price wasn't, good, or maybe he didn't like me. I'm
going to tell you, we got kicked off a bidders list from a client on Bloor, who then moved to another property, and I got kicked off that bidders list.
Yeah. This
went on for 21 years. By the way, so Stadia's been operating for 30 years this year.
Okay.
So out of for my first 10 years in business, I did work for this guy nonstop. Every second job we got awarded. We always negotiated prices, got to the price. The guys are terrific. All my guys have been around forever. All of a sudden, it all stopped. Wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't take my call, had nothing to do with me. He finally made it into a building where I knew everybody else around him.
So he had no choice but
to deal with me at some point.
Yeah.
So I took him out, and I'm going to call him Frank. His name's not Frank, by the way, just so everybody knows. John. So I take him out, and I go, okay, so what happened for 20 years? Why did you stop using Stadia Door and Glass for 20 years? Did we do something wrong? Did we install something wrong? Did we not follow up on a warranty? Was our price too high? He goes, no. He said, back in 1996.
And he knew the date.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Excuse me. Oh, fuck yeah. Sorry. He knew the date. He goes, in 1996, you told me your last Christmas gift you gave out to the guy next door and not me. And you actually told me this when you showed up that I ran out of gifts. And I never got one. And you never came back and you never gave me one. And I was really insulted for all the work I had given you that I never got a gift.
That's when you could gift.
That's when you could gift. But we're talking about back then we were poor, right? Like Stadia was 6-7 years old. We're handing out coffee mugs with chocolate in them, like notepads, a T-shirt. Like these gifts weren't washer dryers or a new Honda Accord. It was nothing. But his entire reason for not using us for 20 years and not taking back was a gift.
He felt jaded that you didn't.
That he thought we were close enough that he would rank higher than the guy I didn't know, because I didn't know the guy beside him, but I happened to go into the building for something and I gave him the last package I had in my car. And he literally said, I refuse to use you from that point on because you didn't respect the business I gave you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's backdoor stuff. That's by the way, you can't take the human out of procurement.
They try.
They try, but you really honestly can't take the human out of procurement. You just can't. When you're purchasing, you still purchase with your heart and your soul. You don't purchase with that bottom line price, because at the end of the day, you, me, and every other contractor on the planet can motivate and manipulate their price to be the lowest price.
If given the opportunity.
If given the opportunity. Or you can be kicked out because you didn't give a Christmas gift. But that was my most bizarre case of not actually getting any more work from a guy. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Christmas gift, right?
Yeah. I've done the bring 3 gifts and then forget somebody at the office, and all of a sudden, here's a communal gift.
Right? Everybody get a Dixie cup of wine.
You know?
Right? We only have 1 bottle. Everybody just gets a little 1 ounce shot because I forgot that there was 9 of you in this office.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. We are now on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can find me. My phone number is 416-984-9045. Stadia Door and Glass. Google them. They come up first. So when you write Stadia Door and Glass or Stadia Toronto or Stadia Tim Byrne or Stadia Mike Wigginton, you'll find us on Google. Byrne On Demand Handyman. They got an office in Toronto and in Barrie. Great little crews, do drywall, tile work. Google them, you'll find them. My daughter Kat runs and owns it, and she does a rock star job, and she's just a fascinating young lady who's got her shit together. And you, Anthony Vinzi.
I don't have to give out my number.
No?
No.
Go. I want you to anyway.
No,
Come on.
every Wednesday, my daughter gives out my number.
Oh, yeah, she does too.
My daughter does the intro as well as the exit on your Wednesday podcast.
Yeah, she does too. Eh?
And looking for a date, call my dad.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's Eb. Worked here all summer.
Yeah.
And tortured the crap out of Eb.
Big gun and big chicken or something.
She's got a chicken, a gun. Yeah, I got that. That's the funny part. Eb worked here. And how old is Eb?
She's she's 16. She's almost 16, but she's 16.
When she turned
December.
16?
December 13.
Last year?
No, this year.
This year.
She's
Yes, she turned 16 right now. Eh? Right on.
Yeah.
And hopefully she'll come back next year. She hated working here.
Oh, because you
Because she had to work.
She had to work.
Nodding in the back. The studio audience is nodding.
Yeah.
Alex, how do we sign off this thing? I'm going to say goodbye. We're going to mic drop.
Mic drop, but you're coming on at...
yeah, the pre-recorded version of this is all going to be on...
Your Tim Byrne Almost Live airs...
Tonight at 5 o'clock at 4:45 or whatever it is, Tim Byrne Almost Live. We'll see you down at PM Expo. Google us, find me. For all you vendors and subcontractors, I'm out here and I'd love to interview and I want you to be on my show. Wave goodbye to everybody. Wave goodbye. This is the first time we've done this. Have a good night.